The final good from this weekend, Nick Foles, what can you say? Let's put it this way. If you're a fantasy owner and you started Nick Foles this week against the Raiders, I am envious of you. If you won, I'm happy for you. But if I had to go against you, I hate your guts. I mean, it's bad enough every week I have to go against Peyton Manning because of the league that I'm in and the format that it's in. But, at least I didn't have to go against Nick Foles. 7 touchdowns when he just did absolutely nothing in the week before, a couple weeks ago against Dallas. I got to give him credit, though. The guy is, I think he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I just think it's a matter of finding the right system with the right coach because Chip Kelly's not the answer long-term for that football team. And I think the Eagles' ownership and staff are trying to realize that, finally realizing that. Wasn't it was a bad hire? I just think it was just a dumb hire. Now on to the bad. Anybody catch the Jets and the Saints? Did anybody not see how many times Drew Brees was knocked down in that game? He got hit more than I've ever seen Drew Brees get hit. I've been watching the guy play football for about 10 years now, and I've never seen him get hit to the extent that he did yesterday. I mean, I think right now they're still one of the top 3, 4, 5 teams in the league. But the game against the Jets was really, something because the Saints got outscored 20-6 after going up 14-6. They just did not play overall a good game. I can't rely on Brees to throw for 382 yards every game. I mean, the funny thing is, if you looked at Drew Brees, he only got sacked twice in the whole game. He was getting hit 8, 9, 10 times and hurried so many more. It was a simple fact that he just was not able to get the ball out of his hands quick enough. Because the Jets were always right there in his face. Another bad that I already mentioned earlier was the Steelers' defense, particularly the pass defense. Like, they don't have the personnel right now to play run defense because Hayward's young, Kiesel's old, McClendon's playing good, but other than that, they don't have a whole lot. Timmons has asked to do so much, I feel bad for the guy because he doesn't know where the hell he's supposed to go because there's never he doesn't know where to go because there's just, so much confusion in that defense and the fact that they can get eaten up so easily that I mean, Timmons could be stuck in pass coverage and they end up playing a run. If that's the case, goes for 15 yards, first down. Polamalu was out of position a lot. Willie Gay got burned like... Willie Gay got burned like a log in a bonfire. That's how bad it was. He just got torched. But if I had to pick the one thing that I really wish I hadn't seen from Sunday, it was the collapse of Texans head coach Gary Kubiak during halftime of the Texans and Colts game. For the record, I got to give credit to Case Keenum for playing a really good game and up until the third quarter, pretty much. I mean, he didn't make any dumb plays or mistakes. But if Kubiak hadn't collapsed and had to be taken to the hospital, I think there's a damn good possibility they'd have won that game easily. Andre Johnson had 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. We weren't even at halftime. So to be honest with you, I think Houston would have won that game going away if Gary Kubiak hasn't have to go to the hospital. Because that was just ugly. And speaking of ugly, the final segment of this part of the show, the NFC South, aside from Carolina, has not been very good this year, other than New Orleans, because Tampa's winless and Atlanta's 2-6. They're horrible. But I got to give credit right now. If you look at the last few weeks, the best team in the NFC South is the Carolina Panthers. I mean, Cam Newton's not playing as good as Drew Brees. I don't think he ever will. But they're running the ball better. They're getting better pass protection. And their defensive line with Star Latuile, Greg Hardy, Charles Johnson, they're just overwhelming teams at the point of attack. But the rest of the NFC South has been ugly the last few weeks. Thursday night, though, was even uglier with Andy Dalton throwing 3 interceptions and a loss to the Dolphins. 1 return for a touchdown, and then he had a safety against him in overtime. A walk-off safety for only the 3rd time in league history. Andy Dalton's a lot like a Joe Flacco. If you give him the pieces, he can win. If he's got to do more because the rest of his guys aren't producing, A.J. Green aside, then he doesn't do anything. He can't win. The guy's got a decent defense, but his weapons other than A.J. Green are very limited. Marvin Jones had a great game, but that was the Jets that they played. And I don't think the Jets' defense, as good as it is, it can compare to Miami's, but, then again, Cincinnati didn't travel very well. They didn't go down south very well for that game. And the final ugly is, as good as Nick Foles was, the Raiders' defense was just horrible. You give 7 touchdowns to a backup quarterback. If you're a defensive coordinator, you should be fired that day. Okay, that does it for the first half of my show. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back immediately following this little intermission.